My wife and I just watched the movie Michael. It is out in theaters right now, and I felt inspired. It's been a week since we saw it. I wanted to create a video just talking to you about how much it inspired me and why I think it's worth a watch. There may be a few spoilers in this video, so if you don't want that, unfortunately, but honestly, I don't think it's that important of a movie where if you have some spoilers, it's not going to ruin the movie for you. The first lesson that I'm taking from this is just being free to create the life that you want. Michael Jackson he was a really free spirit. Like, he had giraffes in his backyard. He used to walk his llama down the road. And there was this one scene where it was kind of an over-the-head shot of him writing in his notebook. And one of the things he wrote was, "Be free to create." And in the story, Michael had a lot of lashback and pushback from his father. His father was very, you could say, controlling. His father was the one actually who started the Jackson 5 and encouraged his boys to kind of work together as brothers to create their own music. But he created this sort of intense culture where Michael would be beaten by his father, and his father wanted to control every single move that he would make. And Michael didn't like that, and he felt very suppressed by that. And ultimately, the whole movie is this kind of arc showing how Michael evolved from being the effect of his father and kind of letting his dad kind of control his destiny to writing his own story, being the free spirit that he wanted to be, and just going out there and being fun and goofy. And he created the life that he wanted. He was a huge, huge dreamer. There was a point in the movie where he's talking with this guy that he partnered up with, who's kind of like his sidekick, helping him get his music out there, create his music, create the whole, all the music videos that he made and that kind of stuff. His kind of go-to guy. And he's telling this guy, "I want to make the best album ever. The most watched videos and the biggest album ever." Like, that's the kind of dreamer that Michael was. He wasn't afraid to just go, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a big dreamer." And I think this really hits at something deep in my heart about integrity. I heard this definition for integrity, that is being true to yourself, knowing what you know. Integrity is just knowing what you know and then being true to yourself. So if you know that you should be living a certain way or doing a certain kind of work in the world or creating something that you know you want to create, and then you don't do it, it's like you're letting the family, you're letting someone who has a big influence in your life, you're letting the urge to be like everybody else in the group and society. I think that's very normal as a human being. The gnats out here are terrible. But as a human being, we have these drives to try to be like everybody else in the world. And it's very normal to just fall into that comfort feeling of being the person that everybody else wants you to be, or being someone that's really easy to fit a certain narrative or fit a certain box in the society. So to go out there and be different, that's hard. That can be difficult. But it's what you kind of have to do if you want to live a life that's true to you. That is the number one regret that people have at the end of their life, is that they didn't live a life that was true to them. They didn't pursue their own dreams. They lived a life that basically, like that one guy says, a life of quiet desperation. So be free to create was kind of the major lesson of this movie. I would really encourage anybody to go out there and watch it if you want to be inspired to kind of write your own destiny, create your own life, and let somebody who had a major impact on the world of music sort of inspire you. I think this movie is also a really cool inside look at what a really aligned person looks like, who's being creative and living a life true to them. So there's this system, it's a personality design system that I'm really deep into right now. It's called human design. And the big reason why I wanted to actually watch this movie was because Michael Jackson is a projector in the human design system. If you don't know what human design is, basically it's the most epic personality type testing that I've ever come across. And basically based on where you're born at what time, it tells you exactly the type of way that your mind works, the way that your body works, the way that you're kind of best going to show up in the world, how other people are going to see you, how you're, what the best way to make decisions for you is. It just has helped me a lot. And Michael is a projector, which is this type of body, this type of energy that's not necessarily made to have this motor, this go, 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 go motor, like 70% of the world, which in human design they call those generators, which is what the whole society is kind of based around, the whole 9-to-5 grind and all of that. Michael is a projector. Projectors are 20% of the population. Projectors are people who are more meant to guide the energy of the generators. And I just thought it was really cool to watch the movie through that lens, understanding that Michael was a projector. There's a scene where he's laying in the pool and his brothers ask him, like, what are you doing? Why are you being, basically, why are you being lazy? And he's like, if I don't listen to the ideas that God's giving me, he might give them to Prince instead. And Prince was like this other artist that he kind of had a rivalry with at the time. And you could just see how creative Michael was. Like, he had this creative zone where, yeah, he'd be lazy. He was watching like movies and TV shows with his mom, and he was hanging around in his bedroom with his animals, his snakes, and all these animals. But then when the idea hit, there was this one scene where he wakes up in the middle of the night and he has this idea, and he goes into his studio and he's got note cards on the wall, and he's just kind of trying to put the beats together and trying to put the ideas together. And you could see him in his creative zone. And that's kind of more of what I think a projector is kind of meant to work like. Not necessarily being this boom, 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 but this, when the inspiration hits, they can create. They're not as much meant to be these kind of constant grinders and constant energy creators and using that natural motor. So yeah, if you've never taken a human design test, I definitely would encourage you to do it. I can link it in my description here. But that to me was my big takeaway as well from this movie, is just that Michael was a really aligned projector. He knew how to kind of cultivate a certain persona in the world. He knew how to lead a lot of people, and he was a peacemaker. He really stood for joy, peace, love, happiness. I think that's obviously what the movie portrayed. I'm sure there's all these other people who have opinions and documentaries and things like that about Michael, but if this movie is true to who he was, then it seems like he was really, really an awesome person, someone that I probably would have wanted to get around to understand his creative process, his view of the world, and just his authenticity, his integrity, to just be who he knew he needed to be to go out there and create the life that God put him on this planet to create. So I hope this video inspires you to maybe go watch that movie and have a good day. Go do something that's true to you.